Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In this episode, we're going to pull that apart again. Let's do it. Alright guys, so I'm going to be taking off the turbo system. We're taking off the exhaust manifold because we are changing back to the stock exhaust manifold. So everything is stock location. So later on down the track, I can just get one off the shelf. And we're going back to an internal wastegate on the TD05, so the first one there. And I was just looking at it, and looks like we might have a bit of trouble with some space, just because of the way that I've rotated. Let's see if we can get an actuator up here, wastegate actuator. So, first thing we're going to do is jack up the car. Alright guys, I've jacked up this side of the car. That's pretty much all I need to do. What I'm going to do is actually make sure I've got everything for the exhaust manifold. Because pull everything apart and don't have everything, that's not good. By everything I mean gaskets. Alright, so I'll just give my quick little brush off. I did have a gasket on there. And we had a leak on that. So I'm going to clean up all these flanges with the wire brush. And there's a gasket in there, so I won't touch that one. Need to find that one, which is that one, and I need to find the up pipe one. Alright guys, so I got the wire brush on the drill and cleaned up all the flanges. Doesn't look like it, but I did. I need to find the gaskets for them. Alright, so I found a gasket for this crossover pipe, but not for the up pipe. When I looked at Subaru diagram for getting parts, the only gasket that I could find for the whole manifold was the up pipe one. So we'll come back tomorrow and get the turbos off, get the up pipe out and everything out, and we'll get these in. Alright guys, it's Sunday night now, about 7:30, so I've got a bit of time, feeling pretty good, so we'll get started. I'm going to take the wastegate off from underneath first. I'm going to try to leave this section on here, so I'll disconnect it from here, just so I know what room I have to use to put the internal gate back on there. Yeah, so yeah, wastegate off, then we need to drain the coolant, but I'll see if there's any coolant in this line, which I don't think there normally is, which is really annoying. Probably should put like a bleed tee up here or something like that, but anyway, yeah, let's get stuck into it. I just took the wastegate off. You can see something missing again? Anyway, let's keep going at it. Alright, so I decided to get the manifold off first, and something else came out. A stud. So we've got to get that back in. That actually went right next to the other bolts. The nuts, should I say. Anyway, yeah, so we are on to the top side. Alright, first turbo is off. I'm good. So I'm going to take this little up pipe off here, and then we'll get the wastegate's up pipe off that. I don't know if you can see it, that 10mm there. Actually, we need to get that off first, don't we? We'll do that first, because that's connected to that. Alright guys, so I got the dump pipe, up pipe, wastegate, whatever you want to call it, off. This is the part that I'm going to be modifying the most. So this here is going to get chopped off. We're going to fill that in, and then on the back here we're going to change this into a bell mouth. so we have better flow for the wastegate. And yeah, it's going to take a little bit of time, so throughout the week I'll be doing that. Yeah, didn't leak. Oh, and I got the stock one all back together. I do have a gasket over here that fits, it's brand new. So this is what we're dealing with now. So I just left that on there because the wastegate should be going about here. So we need to get this sucker off so we can get the up pipe out, and we can get the wastegate up pipe out, and we'll have a lot more room. So with this all out, then we can put the stock up pipe down there and bolt that up. Alright, so clearly see that the other turbo, stock location turbo, is gone. Did spill a little bit of coolant. That was from this one here that I've blocked off, so there's still coolant in that. Turkey down here with its bigger bro. So got to work on making a bracket for that wastegate. And yeah, so just gonna unbolt and get this off. Gonna unbolt that and drop it down and get rid of that junk. Alright, so I'm having some issues with my GoPro. It keeps freezing and turning off, not turning back on. So hopefully everything has saved that I've recorded. But we have got these pipes out. I've changed over the bungs onto the manifold and to the up pipe for where the EGT normally sits. So that's all plugged up, so we can get the up pipe in from the top. Alright, so the stock up pipe has all studs, which is great. One issue that I've seen is the pitch mount. It's rubbing on the pitch mount. It's actually freaking melted it. So now that we don't have or won't need this going in, we can probably tighten all this up. Not yet though. So we'll cut that off, make a bell mouth probably to this notch here. Yeah, and then we'll see if that setup works. Seriously, it was only this current setup that I'm now removing that has had this issue. The other 4, maybe 5 setups that I've done, it's never had that issue. So that should get rid of it, and then that means we can get a tighter setup and we can get that GT35 into a better location. It's kind of looking a bit funny the way it is, sitting a bit close to here, obviously, and way too close to that because it's actually sitting on it, and then we can get a better angle on our exhaust. So we'll see if this new setup is all good and goes great. If it does, when we pull the engine out for the cams, I'll reconfigure that so then we can have the GT35 sitting better on this angle, and we can get a filter onto it then, because we need that. We need a filter. And I can make up a box, a sealed box here too. Alright guys, I was ready to put the manifold up. Damn, that thing is heavy, but I couldn't get in there because of this little tab here, little bracket, because my intercooler piping runs close to that. So I'll cut that off tomorrow. We'll get that back on, and then we'll cut that stuff off. So we'll come back tomorrow. Pretty much done what I can. Alright guys, I'm back. It's after work. I'm going to cut this tab off here, and then I'll chop this one off here. So then I'll come out later and I'll weld that up. then we'll start figuring out what I'm going to do about like the bell mouth section. Alright, that is off, so onto the up pipe, whatever you want to call it, dump. Alright, cut that off, damage that too. So I'm going to get the flap disc on, clean that up. Where's boogers? Yeah, clean that up and find a way how to patch it. Well, I thought I was having more issues with the GoPro, but I am. It stayed on. And it just went flat. I was wondering why it wouldn't turn on. It was on for 2 hours. Anyway, I got the manifold and up pipe all bolted up. It tucks up so much higher than that one over there. So it's good. Lowest point now is the front mount cooler, which is annoying. I guess I could try to raise that up for better ground clearance. Alright guys, so I was looking at the internal gate on TD05 through here. It's a good view actually. This Schedule 40 piping that I've used actually goes out pretty far. Well, the hole that I've got there, as you can see, it steps down. So at the moment I don't think I will do a bell mouth. I'm just grinding this out a bit so the wastegate flap can open a little bit more. But looking through that hole, the angle that it opens up, it's actually directing straight through that way. It's not going to come out and hit that. So hopefully that's okay. Anyway, I'm going to end up changing this. I'm going to make it a bit tighter, like I said before, so we get a better angle on the GT35, so we can get an air filter on it. And I found the wastegate as well, so I'm just trying to work out the mounting for that. I'll probably use these water fittings for a bracket and have like an L bracket off that and come up and weld a chopped up bracket of that, and yeah, and these will go over the bracket, so the bracket will be kind of like its washer, if that makes sense. Hopefully it doesn't leak. Put some sealant on it. Alright guys, it's the next day, starting to rain, so sorry about the noise. I've got the dump pipe, up pipe, crossover pipe, whatever you want to call it, and I've got this patch here that I'll cut out, so I'll just weld that on. Like I've said before, I'm probably most likely going to redo this and get the turbo in a better location, much tighter. Just got to make sure that I can still get these bolts in, but other than that, yeah, I'm going to make it a bit tighter because it does come out pretty far. Alright guys, put the little plate on there. It kind of looks where I'd put my logo. Anyway, that's done, so we can move on to internal wastegate placement and finding out how to make that bracket. So I'll move this off to the side, let that cool down, and do that. Alright, so this is really hot at the moment, but this is the new bracket for the internal wastegate for the TD05, which is over there. It's really hot, so gotta wait for that to cool down, and we just need to make it a bit better. So just got to chop off a little bit here so the oil feed can come through, and whatever I chop off there I'm going to put on this section here to strengthen it. And yeah, just a bit of a waiting game. Alright, so that is reinforced a little bit. Yeah, looks a bit ugly, but let's see if it works. Come back tomorrow, we'll do a little bit, and then I've got to edit, so we might not get a first start on the newer setup, but we'll start to put it back together. Alright guys, it's the next night and I've actually decided not to put this back together. because if I do that tonight, I probably won't have enough time to edit this and get this video out for you. Either way, next episode we'll be getting this back together, running, and hopefully for a drive. So if I put this all back together, next episode you're going to see it drive anyway. So much of a muchness. I just get to edit this and not have a really late night. So guys, if you enjoyed this episode, give it a thumbs up. If you're enjoying the content, keep watching up here, and I'll catch you next episode when the Foz gets its rumble back. Bye.